There comes a time, child, when your feet grow tired of chasing things that were never meant to be caught. There comes a moment when your soul, your glorious, aching, lion-hearted soul, decides it will no longer be led by fear, but by the mighty hand of God. Oh yes, when God leads you, the ground beneath your feet becomes holy, even if it's cracked, dry, and unfamiliar. Child, let me take your hand and walk with you for a little while. Let me speak to that part of you that's weary, that's wandered, that's wondering if you've been forgotten in this vast stretch of living. Because I know, and I see it, and I feel it too. How easy it is to question the path you're on when the road is crooked and the signs are missing. But listen to me now. Listen with your soul, not your ears. When God leads you, even the ordinary becomes sacred. There is something mighty, something holy, something unspeakably beautiful that happens when the Creator himself lays his hand upon your life and whispers, "This way, child." You might think you're just walking to work, taking care of your babies, trying to keep your head up while the world presses down. You might believe you're just surviving. But oh no, you are doing more than that. You are traveling on holy ground, and you don't even know it yet. When God leads, he doesn't always lead you through gardens and grand halls. Sometimes he leads you down dusty roads where your shoes wear thin, through back doors that creak with the sound of forgotten prayers, through valleys where echoes remind you of your past. But let me tell you, those roads, those doors, those valleys, they are no less sacred. They are sacred because he is there. You see, we have grown up believing that sacredness belongs only in stained glass cathedrals and songs sung on Sunday mornings. We've been taught to look for God in perfection, in peace, in still waters. And yes, he lives there. But, child, he also lives in the mess. He is the God of the mud as much as the marble. He is the God of the silence as much as the song. He is the God of the back street, the bus stop, the hospital waiting room, and the kitchen table at midnight when your heart is breaking and your hope is barely breathing. He does not lead you to impress you. He leads you to change you. When God leads, your tears don't fall in vain. They water the ground you walk on. They soften the soil so something holy can grow. And don't you know that every step you take, every choice made in obedience, even when it hurts, even when it confuses, is building something eternal? God does not waste your detours. No, ma'am. He does not discard your delays. Every interruption is a divine intersection. And that hill you climbed last year, sweating and sighing all the way, that wasn't just hardship, baby. That was holy work. That was God preparing your legs for the mountain that's coming. He leads you not only to places, but into purpose. Oh yes, when God leads, he's not just getting you somewhere. He's making you someone. And along that path, he strips away what you thought you needed. He peels back what you used to hide behind. He removes the people who can't go where he's taking you, and it hurts. Lord, it hurts. But it's holy. You learn to recognize him in the breaking, in the silence, in the spaces that used to scare you. You begin to trust, not because you understand, but because you've seen too much grace to go back to doubt. Child, when you let God lead, you stop chasing. You stop running after things that glitter but don't glow. You begin to walk with intention, not just direction. Because God does not just take you where you want to go. He takes you where you were born to be. And he gets there by paths that look like failure, feel like heartbreak, and sound like quiet. He leads you into places that cleanse your soul, places where you have no choice but to pray, places where you meet yourself, and more importantly, places where you meet him, not in the thunder, but in the whisper. And let me say this, when God leads, time is not your enemy. You begin to understand that slow is not stuck and silence is not absence. You come to see that what he is doing in the dark is just as powerful as what he reveals in the light. You start to live with your ears to his chest, moving not by calendars but by calling. Even the mundane becomes miraculous. That job you've been showing up to, day after day with little thanks and no applause, sacred. That child you're raising through tears and prayers and midnight feedings, sacred. That grief you're learning to carry without letting it carry you, sacred. Every part of your journey, touched by his hand, becomes part of the altar. Don't despise the small steps, the hard steps, the lonely steps. They are not wasted. They are woven into a tapestry so divine that one day, when you look back, you'll weep. Not just for what you endured, but for how beautifully it all fit together. When God leads, the journey isn't about impressing people. It's about becoming a vessel for his glory. And child vessels are shaped in fire. They are formed in silence. They are smoothed by storms. So, keep walking. Keep trusting. The ground under your feet might look ordinary to others, but when God leads, you are walking on promises. You are walking on prophecy. You are walking on prayers your grandmother prayed before you were born. Yes, baby, when God leads you, even the dust under your feet sings a song of destiny. You might not hear it now, but heaven hears it. And the angels, oh, they dance every time you take another step in faith. So walk on, beloved. Not because you have it all figured out, but because you know who is holding your hand. The one who parts seas, the one who opens tombs, the one who weeps with you and walks with you and will never, ever leave you behind. And one day, when you reach that place he's been preparing for you, you will turn around and say with a holy smile, it was all sacred, every step, every tear, every turn, because when God led me, I was never lost. You were just becoming, you were just being led, you were just walking into the divine, and oh, what a walk it was. Come close, baby, come real close. Let me speak to that quiet place in your spirit, the part of you that's been trembling in the dark, itching for answers, longing for peace that lasts more than just a night. Sit with me. Let the world hush for a moment, because I have something to tell you. When God leads you, something inside you changes. And it don't just change a little bit. It shifts like the earth under your feet when truth finally finds its voice. When God leads you, child, you start to see things differently. What used to confuse you begins to make sense. What once terrified you becomes testimony. What used to be a mountain blocking your way, suddenly it's just a molehill in the light of his glory. You start to understand that clarity is not the same as control. You don't need all the details to trust the direction. You don't need the map when the Maker is walking beside you. There's a peace that comes when the Creator becomes your compass. It's not the kind of peace the world gives you, all wrapped up in temporary comfort and fleeting distractions. No, this peace is deeper. It's rooted in the marrow of your bones. It whispers to your fear and says, be still. It reaches into your past and says, that pain no longer defines you. It reaches into your future and says, I've already been there and it's good. Now let me tell you something, baby, when God leads you. You no longer panic when people leave. You stop chasing after doors that have been shut with divine intention. You stop banging on walls, begging for them to be windows. You begin to trust, deep down, soul deep, that if he closed it, you don't need what's behind it. If they walked away, they were never meant to walk with you. And if you lost it, it was not part of the promise. Oh, and that confidence, that quiet, holy confidence that begins to rise in your chest like the morning sun. That's not arrogance, baby. That's what happens when you know who's walking with you. You don't walk like the world owes you something. You walk like heaven has already promised you everything you need. God doesn't just clear the path. He clears your mind. He silences the voices that once shouted louder than truth. He hushes the lies that told you were too broken, too late, too flawed, too forgotten. When God leads you, the fog lifts. And sometimes clarity don't come with answers. It comes with assurance that you are held, that you are seen, that you are not making this journey alone. You don't have to strive anymore. You stop trying to impress people who couldn't understand the calling on your life if you tattooed it across the sky. You stop explaining yourself. Stop justifying your joy. Stop minimizing your miracle just so other folks won't feel small in the presence of your peace. Because when God leads you, baby, peace becomes your portion. Not because life gets easier, but because your spirit gets stronger. Not because storms stop coming, but because you finally realize He's in the boat, and if the master is sleeping in the storm, then you best believe it's not gonna sink. You don't measure your worth by the world's applause anymore. You learn to sit in silence and know you are still valuable. You learn to be alone and not be lonely. You learn to wait and not grow weary. Because you know that what God begins, He finishes. And what He leads, He covers. Oh, child, let me tell you, when God leads you, you become dangerous to every lie that ever tried to destroy you. You become a warrior clothed in wisdom. You become a force, a light, a walking testimony. You no longer beg for a seat at tables He never built for you. You realize you are the table, and those who are hungry for truth will come and dine from the fruit of your obedience. And that peace you carry, that beautiful, radiant calm that clings to you like morning dew, that's not passive. That's power. Power to love without fear. Power to forgive without forgetting who you are. Power to rise without stepping on anyone else's back. Power to say no and mean it. Power to say yes and walk in it. When God leads, you don't chase after chaos anymore. You stop being addicted to busy. You stop thinking you have to do it all, be it all, fix it all. You rest not because the work is done, but because you know who's doing the work in you. You breathe differently, laugh louder, walk softer, live fuller, and when storms do come, and yes, they will, you hold your peace not like a fragile vase but like a mighty sword. You protect it, you guard it, because you finally realizing peace is not the absence of the storm. Peace is the presence of God inside the storm. You learn to smile, not because everything is perfect, but because your joy is no longer tethered to perfection. It's tethered to the promise. And the promise is this: I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. I will go before you and make the crooked paths straight. So you keep walking, child, head high, shoulders back, heart steady. Not because you know where you're going, but because you know who's going with you. That's what happens when God leads. Clarity becomes your compass. Confidence becomes your cloak. And peace becomes the song that plays even in the silence. You are not confused. You are being refined. You are not lost. You are being led. And you are not alone. You are covered. Oh yes, baby. When God leads you, you don't just survive the journey. You begin to thrive in it. Come in close, child. Let me talk to the deepest part of your soul, the part that's tired of pretending to be strong, the part that's been carrying burdens too heavy for too long. Sit with me, just for a moment. Let the noise of this world hush itself, because I want to tell you something that might just change the way you walk through this life when God leads you. True power comes not from striving, but from surrender. Now I know that ain't what the world taught you. The world said, push harder, work more, climb higher. It said if you don't fight for it, it won't happen. If you don't hustle, you'll fall behind. If you don't prove yourself, you'll never be seen. But baby, let me tell you the truth. When God is in charge, your strength ain't measured by how loud you roar, but by how humbly you kneel. The greatest strength you will ever carry is born in the moment you let go. Let go of needing to know everything. Let go of needing to control everything. Let go of trying to be everything for everybody. Because you see, surrender is not weakness. Surrender is divine wisdom. It's saying, God, I can't, but I know you can. It's lifting your hands not in defeat, but in faith. It's choosing trust when everything around you screams fear. When you surrender, child, you don't shrink, you rise. You rise out of the pit of people-pleasing. You rise out of the trap of perfection. You rise from the ashes of anxiety, because you no longer have to hold it all together. You just have to be held. And isn't that what we've all been longing for? To be held, to be carried, to rest in something stronger than ourselves. There comes a time in every life, a holy moment, when the soul gets tired of running, and the spirit gets tired of striving, and you whisper through tears, God, I'm yours. Lead me, and in that moment heaven leans in. The angels gather. The wind shifts. The very atmosphere around your life begins to change. Because true spiritual authority doesn't come from status or success. It comes from surrender. Let me say it plain, God don't anoint the proud. He doesn't empower the ones who think they have it all figured out. He lifts up the lowly. He strengthens the broken. He gives authority to the one who says, not my will, but yours be done. When you surrender, something mighty happens. You become a vessel. And vessels, baby, don't create the water. They just carry it. You don't have to perform. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to prove your worth. All you have to do is stay open, stay yielded, stay willing, and God will fill you. Fill you with wisdom that don't come from books. Fill you with strength that don't come from muscle. Fill you with peace that don't come from circumstances. You start to walk different, not faster, not louder, but deeper, unshaken. You begin to speak and demons tremble, not because your voice is loud, but because your authority is real. Real authority doesn't shout. It doesn't strut. It stands in stillness and says, I know who sent me. That's what surrender does. It gives God room to move. It says, here I am. Use me. And baby, when you offer yourself to God like that, there is no limit to what He will do through you. He will anoint your silence. He will bless your boundaries. He will multiply your little and make it more than enough. He will put words in your mouth you didn't study. He will open doors you didn't knock on. He will place you in rooms you didn't even know existed. Because He knows. When you surrendered, you gave Him glory. And when He gets the glory, He brings the breakthrough. Now don't confuse surrender with passivity. Surrender don't mean you stop showing up. It means you show up differently. You show up not with fear but with faith. You show up not in your own strength but clothed in His power. You no longer strive, you flow. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer beg, you believe. Surrender teaches you the rhythm of heaven. It teaches you that waiting is not wasting, that resting is not laziness, that trusting is not foolishness. It teaches you that battles are won on your knees, not in your fists, that destinies are unlocked through obedience, not ambition, that real power is quiet, still, and deeply rooted in the presence of God. And yes, surrender will cost you. It will cost you your ego. It will cost you your agenda. It will cost you your comfort. But oh, the reward! You gain intimacy. You gain clarity. You gain a relationship with the one who knows the end from the beginning. When you surrender, you stop trying to write the story, and you let the author take the pen. You say, God, I trust your plot even when I don't understand the page I'm on. And child, let me tell you something. God writes beautiful stories with surrendered hearts. So don't be afraid to lay it down. Lay down the fear. Lay down the striving. Lay down the image you've been trying to protect. Let God lead you. Let Him shape you. Because the moment you surrender is the moment you step into true spiritual authority. Not the kind that needs applause. Not the kind that seeks platforms. But the kind that shakes hell when you whisper, Jesus. The kind that lifts others without losing yourself. The kind that speaks truth without compromise. the kind that shines not from spotlight, but from surrender. So walk on, baby, with your hands lifted, with your heart open, with your soul surrendered, because you are not weak, you are not lost, you are not behind, you are becoming, you are blooming, you are being led. And oh, when God leads you through surrender, nothing on earth can stop what heaven has already begun. Come now, sweet child, sit at the feet of wisdom and let your soul breathe. Let your burdens down for just a little while and lend me your heart. I want to tell you about a power that whispers when the world shouts, a quiet courage that steadies you when everything around you trembles. When God leads you, He don't just guide your feet, He strengthens your faith. And not just any kind of faith, baby. I'm talking about that rugged, deep-rooted, storm-surviving, valley-walking, devil-defying faith. The kind that don't flinch in the fire. The kind that don't run when the winds howl. The kind of faith that sings even in sorrow. That type of faith don't come cheap. It don't come wrapped in comfort or dressed up in ease. No, it's forged in the furnace of surrender. It's carved out through the waiting, the aching, the not knowing, and still believing. You see, when God leads you, He leads you into deeper faith. Not shallow water, not kiddie pools of comfort and control. No, He brings you out into the deep, where your feet can't touch the ground, and the only thing keeping you afloat is your trust in Him. Oh, how scary that can be. But child, how sacred it is too. Because faith, real faith, is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to walk forward even when fear is present. It's saying, Lord, I don't see the way, but I trust that you do. It's that quiet yes in the dark, the one you whisper with trembling lips, the one that says, God, if you're going, I'm going too. When God leads you, He often leads you to places where you can't rely on your own strength. And you know why? Because He wants you to see what His strength looks like. He wants you to taste the goodness that only comes when you get out of the way and let Him be God. It's easy to praise when the sun is shining. But when the night comes and the stars hide themselves, when the bank account runs dry, when the friends fall silent, when the doors close without explanation, that's when your faith stretches. That's when it grows. That's when you stop talking about trust and start living it. There is something holy about those moments. Something sacred about the breaking that leads to building. God isn't trying to destroy you, baby. He's trying to deliver you. He's trying to take that flimsy faith and make it fierce. He's trying to turn your maybe into a mighty. Yes. He's growing your roots deep so when the storm comes, you don't just bend. You bounce back stronger. Sometimes, the leading of God feels like losing. But oh, sweet soul, don't you be fooled. What you're losing is your crutches, your idols, your illusions of control. And what you're gaining is the kind of faith that moves mountains. You may say, but I don't have that kind of faith. And I would say, yes, you do. You had faith to get out of bed this morning. You had faith to breathe through your brokenness. You had faith to keep praying even when you heard nothing back. You had faith when you loved again after being hurt. You had faith when you smiled through your tears. So don't you underestimate what's already growing inside you. It might be small now, maybe just a mustard seed, but baby, mustard seeds move mountains. When God leads you, you don't always feel strong. But strength shows up anyway. It shows up in the choice to forgive. It shows up in the decision to keep showing up. It shows up in the way you keep loving, even when love hasn't been returned. It shows up in your walk, in your worship, in your war cry that sounds like praise. God strengthens your faith by stretching it, and stretching never feels good. But child, it is necessary. Because a faith that hasn't been tested can't be trusted. But a faith that's been through fire, a faith that's been refined in sorrow, that faith is unshakable. That's the kind of faith that says, even if I don't get what I want, I will still trust him. That's the kind of faith that says, though he slay me, yet will I praise him. That's the kind of faith that dances in chains and sings in caves. God doesn't always calm the storm, but he always strengthens the sailor. And you, baby, you are being strengthened right now. Every tear, every trial, every unanswered question, it's all fertilizer for your faith. It's all making you stronger, not smaller. It's all preparing you, not punishing you. Don't despise the stretching. Don't run from the refining. Don't curse the cave. That dark place might just be the womb where your next level is being birthed. Because the God who leads you is also the God who lifts you. And the higher he wants to take you, the deeper your faith must grow. You can't carry divine purpose with flimsy belief. You can't walk into promised land with Egypt still in your heart. So he leads you through the wilderness, not to hurt you, but to heal you, to strip you of idols, to silence the noise, to make you lean in and listen for his voice. And when you do, when you truly listen, you'll find that even in the silence, he's speaking. Even in the delay, he's working. Even in the detour, he's delivering. Faith strengthened by God doesn't waver with the wind. It doesn't fall apart in the face of rejection. It doesn't crumble when plans don't work out, because it's no longer anchored in outcomes. It's anchored in God. So hold on, baby. Hold on even if by a thread. Hold on even when your voice shakes and your knees tremble. You're not losing. You're learning. You're not sinking. You're stretching. You're not forgotten. You're being formed. And soon, very soon, you'll look back and say, it was good that I was afflicted. It was good that I had to walk by faith. Because it was there, in the darkness, in the waiting, in the breaking, that I found God's strength in me. And oh, child, what a beautiful, mighty, unstoppable strength it is. Come close, beloved. Let us speak of endings that are really beginnings, of doors that swing shut only to reveal windows of glory. I want to tell you something sacred, something eternal. You see, when God leads you, your purpose becomes clear. We live in a world that tells us to chase fame, chase followers, chase fortune. But when God's hand is upon your life, he doesn't send you chasing. He sends you becoming. He doesn't push you out to perform. He calls you in to become. He does not need your spotlight. He needs your surrender. You see, child, purpose isn't something you go out and find like a coin lost in the grass. Purpose finds you when you walk with God. It wraps around you like breath in your lungs. You wake up in it. You cry in it. You suffer in it. You shine in it. Oh yes, your purpose was knitted into your soul before your mama ever felt your first kick. Before you were shaped in your mother's womb. God already had a vision for your life, and that vision, that calling, was not random. It wasn't guesswork. It was divine orchestration. It was sacred appointment. God doesn't make extras. He makes originals. And you, dear soul, are his masterpiece. But I know how life can twist things. I know how the world can whisper lies. Tells you're not enough. That you missed your chance. That it's too late. But let me say it plain, God wastes nothing, not one heartbreak, not one mistake, not 1 year you thought was lost. He uses it all. He weaves it into the tapestry of your purpose, threads of gold hidden in the pain. See, purpose ain't always loud. It ain't always wearing a suit or standing behind a podium. Sometimes purpose is rocking a crying baby at 2 a.m. Sometimes purpose is forgiving someone who never apologized. Sometimes purpose is writing poetry in the dark, singing when no one listens, and planting seeds you may never see bloom. And when God leads you, he don't just hand you purpose like a trophy. No, he unfolds it, slowly, gently. Purpose isn't revealed all at once. It's revealed through obedience. Each step you take in faith, he peels back another layer. Another page of the book opens. You may say, but I don't know what my purpose is. And I'll tell you this. Purpose begins with presence. Just stay close to God. Listen when he speaks in whispers. Move when he says move. Stand still when he tells you to wait. That's purpose too. Purpose isn't just about what you do. It's about who you are becoming. You can be doing great things and still be outside your purpose if your soul ain't aligned with God's will. But when you let him lead, he makes your steps count. He gives your yes weight. He gives your voice power. When God leads you, your purpose becomes less about climbing and more about serving. You stop asking, how high can I go? And you start asking, how deep can I love? Because real purpose always back to people. Real purpose uplifts, restores, heals. It is never selfish. It is never cruel. It doesn't boast. It builds. And baby, don't let the devil trick you into thinking you have to be someone else to fulfill your purpose. You don't have to change your voice. You don't have to shrink your shine. You don't have to copy anyone's path. There is room for you in God's plan. There is a seat with your name on it, and no one, not your past, not your pain, not your fear, can take it from you. You may have taken detours. You may have made mistakes, but purpose is not a straight line. It's a winding road, a holy journey. And even when you step off the path, God knows how to redirect your steps. He is a redeemer of time. He'll take what was broken and turn it into blessing. He'll take your scars and turn them into stories. Now listen to Meg. When God leads you, your life becomes a message. Every trial becomes a testimony. Every fall becomes fuel. Every no becomes a redirection toward your divine yes. The things that once made you weep will make others rise. The pain that almost crushed you will lift someone else. Your purpose, beloved, is never just about you. It's about the people attached to your obedience. It's about the lives that will find hope because you didn't give up. It's about the light you carry into rooms too dark for anyone else. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start living your purpose. Start now. Start small. Speak life into your children. Create beauty with your hands. Encourage your neighbor. Be kind in a cruel world. Love deeply. Forgive freely. That's purpose in motion. And when you finally walk fully into that calling, when you stop doubting your worth and start trusting his voice, you'll feel it. Like coming home. Like stepping into shoes made just for you. There will be peace. Not always comfort, but always peace. Because walking in purpose isn't easy, but it is holy. It is fulfilling. It is freedom. So I say to you, with all the fire and tenderness in my heart, you are not aimless. You are not forgotten. You are not random. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being led, molded, prepared. And your purpose, your God-ordained, heaven-crafted, world-changing purpose, is alive in you. Keep walking even when the road is unclear. Keep trusting even when the steps are shaky. Keep surrendering even when fear knocks at your door. Because when God leads you, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to see the whole picture. You just have to take the next step. And when you do, watch how the path unfolds. Watch how doors open. Watch how heaven backs you. Watch how everything starts to make sense. This is not the end of your story, child. This is the beginning of divine alignment. This is the hour of awakening. This is the moment where purpose meets power. So stand tall. Lift your head. Let the Spirit lead. Because your purpose is waiting, and baby, it's glorious.